Greetings YouTube, Venga here, and we're back in Pharos once again today to take on our next mark, our second to last mark in fact, our second to last hunt. So hopefully this should be a good one. Come and join me, and I hope this video helps you out. If it does, don't forget to maybe let me know in the comments, and also please do hit the like button to show your support. Thank you very much. The hunt will be number 44 in your log if you've completed all the previous hunts. And it is an elite hunt, as you'd probably expect in all honesty, so you'll need to pick this up from Mont Blanc in Remastered. The good news is that Mont Blanc is already the petitioner, so we won't have to go anywhere else once we've collected this. We basically pick it up and then head over to Pharos. Now the hunt text tells us that the whereabouts of this particular mark is unknown, but I can actually point you in the right direction because this is a guide after all, and what use would it be if I couldn't? So once you've made your way over to Pharos, we'll need to head to the final floor of Subterra. If you don't know how to access Subterra, then you need to complete the main storyline for Pharos, and if you have completed that but can't access the final floor of Subterra, then check out my How to Get Wither video, which is a technique, Wither, and I explain there the kinds of things you need to do in order to access the floor we're heading to. So I'm not going to be treading our ground, but I will put a link to that in the video description. And from the teleport crystal, you want to come over to the elevator, the dice of ascendance, and we're going to select this floor, unknown, and this should take us straight to our destination. And we'll be immediately thrust against the Shadow Seer creature, which is quite an interesting encounter actually. It's going to do a few things that we need to be aware of, but most importantly we should note that it's going to summon other enemies, and not just any enemies but quite tough enemies, and when it does it becomes completely immune to damage, so we have to kill the other enemies first. So this is the Shadow Seer foe. Ah, it wishes to play. Arise, my servant, arise. So here comes our first, and we can see that the Shadow Seer has put paling around it, and also a magic shield as well. So I'm going to see if there's anything interesting we can steal from some of these guys. So I'm just going to throw the gambits around here, and also put the Thief's Cuffs onto Varn himself. Ribbon is particularly useful though, so just keep an eye on that, because he does like to hit you with some status ailments, as you'd expect of course. They seem to be pretty much a staple of most high level encounters here. And are we going to steal, please, Varn? He seems to be trying to steal from the wrong enemy. So let's just select... we have got Varn as party leader. So we'll try and steal from Pandemonium, is the first enemy that's been spawned here. And, okay, it looks like these guys have nothing to take. So we'll go ahead and turn Steal off for now. And just basically lay into these foes that get summoned. In fact, I'm not even going to worry about Steal. Let's just go straight on ahead with laying on the ponies, shall we? Now, what we're going to do in order to take on the right enemy here is select foe highest max HP. This is what I'm going to do anyway, and select foe lowest max HP. That way we're always, hopefully, going to be targeting the correct enemy. And Penelo is using an AoE ability in Scathe anyhow, so I don't expect for her to be missing her damage, if that makes sense. Okay, so Pandemonium is now immune to damage, interestingly enough. So everybody has annoying immunity abilities in this particular encounter. And just be prepared for that invert. Make sure that you're ready to handle it, as they say, since it's going to come quite thick and quite fast. So now we can once again start doing damage to Pandemonium. And hopefully we'll finish it off. And that invert is coming in thick and fast, isn't it? Its life is strong. Arise, my servant, arise. Okay, so now we've got another enemy coming in. I believe this will be Slit or Silt or whatever its name is. So we once again need to be making sure we're targeting the correct enemy here. So we have to deal with all the abilities that these enemies tend to have when we fight them normally, along of course with the Shadow Seer itself. But I'm using Gendarm to absorb the elements that get thrown at us, so they're not a big deal. And Slit here, or Silt, whatever its name was, wasn't a challenge, in all honesty, even when we fought it by itself, so. It thinks to live, but no, arise, my servant, arise. So here we have the third enemy, Venga. This is the third or fourth. Or the third of the four that it's going to get, going to bring into the battle. And again, you should target it by default with those gambits that I've shown you how to equip. And it's a good idea to dispel this protect if you're going out with physical damage here. So when that buff drops off the boss, he's just going to recast it immediately while his summoned creatures are in the fray. So down goes Venga. It has played enough. Yes. Arise, my servant. Arise. And it's Phoenix. So Phoenix was an optional boss earlier on in the game. Well, earlier on in the optional section of this dungeon, actually. Interestingly enough. So once again, we just need to do what we need to do. And take out the ad. And I can just about see Phoenix's health. Now, once we actually deplete the health bar of Phoenix and it falls to its death, the Shadow Seer's shields are going to fall off, I believe, permanently. So we can really lay on the damage at that point. And it's probably at that point I'm going to try to see if there's anything to steal. Obviously, we can't do so beforehand. That invert is always a problem, so just try and stay on top of keeping your characters alive. And I've just realised Varn isn't doing anything. I don't think he has telekinesis, so I'm just going to throw money at it. Since 10,000 gil is pittance by this stage in the game. I've got like 14 million. Although I would prefer it, Varn, if you actually threw it at the correct enemy, please. There we go. Down comes the Phoenix. It offends. It angers. Arise, my servant. Arise. Why does this thing talk like Gollum? My servant's gone. So mote it be, but not in silence. Not in silence. Okay, so first things first, let's get rid of that guild toss now. We don't need it. But I am going to put steel on and just turn Scathe off for a few moments time. So the health for this boss is quite high. It's 278,000. So just be prepared to keep healing throughout the encounter, which can go on for a little bit, especially if you're lower level. I don't know what this guy has to steal, but that's why I'm going to test it out. We've got a strip of foul flesh and a strip of maggoty flesh, so in all honesty, nothing really you probably want to concern yourself with. Let's just turn our gambits on, and then we're just going to go all out on this guy. In terms of buffs, I guess we could have put some buffs on as well, but I haven't really felt the need to. Let's just do Haste Agar, Bravery even, and that should see us through, I hope. And towards the end of this fight, I believe you might go resistant to physical damage, but not immune. So at that point, we're probably going to want to rely more on magic attacks than anything else. But we'll see how we get on. So Vaughn's taking quite a bit of damage there. And Ash and Penello are both running quite low on health as well, interestingly enough. Not health, sorry, MP. Just something to be aware of as we go into the final stages of this fight. But still, charge is obviously useful in restoring their MP, so I haven't got to worry about ethers or anything of that nature. And we'll just keep hitting the boss here. And as you start to get low, you might want to finish off with a nice quickening spell, which is exactly what I'm going to do here. Okay, so I've just finished off with my quickening spell there, and it looks like it was enough to take care of the Shadow Seer. It has now been vanquished. Wonderful stuff. And that's our second to final hunt completed, which is exciting. We've only got one more thing to kill, and it's a big thing, but we'll obviously be talking about that in a future episode. So you can no longer access unknown. Oh, I didn't even mean to go there. That's annoying. I've got to mess around now. But once we've done that, I'm going to head back to Mont Blanc and see what he's got to say for himself. Here we are then, back in the clan hall. And we're going to go ahead and speak to Mont Blanc. How fares the hunt, Kupo? Kupo? Po, you defeated the Seer? Pardon? The Shadow Seer? Astonishing. Never mind the how of it, Kupo. The ends justify the means. You're the pride of the clan, Kupo. To be honest, I didn't think I'd ever see you again, but I sorely underestimated you. You've rightly earned both your bounty and my congratulations. Well hunted. We get 20,000 gil and a mega elixir. And there's just one more hunt to go, as I've said, and this is Year's Mat. And this is an exciting one, so I recommend you pick it up, because the next thing we're going to do is take on Omega in the Great Crystal, and you cannot do that unless you have the Year's Mat hunt selected and in your quest log. So go ahead and accept this, even though we're not going to do it immediately. But anyway, that's it for this video for today, folks. So I'm going to come back next time and carry on with that bit of content that I mentioned. So thanks for joining me today. I hope this has helped you. If it has, let me know in the comment section, and come back soon for more Zodiac Age. Cheers all, goodbye.